All right, so we are here with Rich Franklin, the VP of ONE FC. So
Yes.
how are you, Rich? My first question off the bat is, how has it been on the corporate end of the fight?
You know, I think that's a conversation that we should have maybe a year from now, after I've had my feet in the game a little bit. It's different though, sitting cage side and sitting outside of the cage rather than being inside of the cage. And I've always told people this, that when I attend the fights, I get that feeling in my stomach like I'm actually there to fight, like I'm prepping for a fight. And so that little by little each show it goes away because I have a job to do when I'm there. But it's an interesting adjustment, to say the least.
Which end do you like more, being a fighter, being in the corporate area?
Honestly, they both have their challenges. I'm an athlete. That's I love doing things like that. But I'm working for an organization here, ONE Fighting Championship, and helping this organization grow. And I really enjoy that process. Like that becomes my fight now. And so I honestly I enjoy both sides of it.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you're an athlete, you're a fighter, you're an active fighter. Not a lot of these executives have your background. Do you think that plays well, the fact that you've been there in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the things that ONE FC does with me is they rely on the experience that I have in this industry, in the industry of MMA. Of course, the experiences that I have may differ from some of the the experiences or the things that you would need to conduct business here in Asia, but I've been around this industry for such a long time that we can definitely play to that strength.
Okay. Well, we'll shift gears a bit. We'll talk about the upcoming card in Manila. So there are a lot of big time fighters on the card. I want to talk about Edward Folayang, one of the most popular guys here in the Philippines. Some people would say that he's maybe one big fight away from fighting for the title. What's your take on that?
I think so. I think if he has a good showing here, coming up on December 5th, that would definitely put him in a possible title contention spot.
What about Brandon Vera? I mean, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Do you think that, how will he do come fight night against a guy like Sobora?
I don't know. I was here with Brandon when we broke the news that he was signed to fight with us and going to be here in Manila for the December 5th card. And Brandon seems real relaxed about the fact that he's coming to the Philippines to fight for his first time. I think any fighter would feel a normal amount of pressure, but he seems to be good with it. And Sobora is a tough competitor. So I think Brandon's going to come in I think he's going to come in like he said, and he will be relaxed about it. He just needs to make sure that all the travel and all that kind of stuff isn't problematic for him because this is his first time fighting here. But I look for that to be a really exciting fight.
Definitely. Also, I'm not sure if you handle also matchmaking duties, because many people were wondering about Erik Kelly, who was on the poster. They were hoping to see him here, but obviously he's not on the card. Would you have any? Could you enlighten us on that?
No, honestly that's a Matt Hume question. He handles all the matchmaking, and I don't know what happened from day one to today as far as matches that were supposed to be set, possibly cut, and all that kind of stuff. So that's not my area of expertise.
All right. We also have recently Mark Strobel, a Phil-Am fighter, signed with Evolve MMA in Singapore. So that's a big deal. He's the first Filipino on the team. What do you think training at Evolve will have? What kind of impact it will have on Mark?
For me to properly answer that question, I would like to see what Mark's training was like prior to joining the Evolve team. It's interesting that you bring this up because I stopped in for a bit of business into Evolve the other day, and when Mark was actually trying out for the team, so I got to watch his tryout for a few minutes. And I don't know how his training is going to compare to his old training, but my standard answer would be knowing I'm familiar with Evolve's system and knowing how they streamline everything, and he has a good set of world champion coaches to work with, a set program that they go by, and so that could be the big change for him, is that he has all this under one roof rather than trying to piecemeal things together, because most fighters typically end up doing that. I mean, even I have done that in my career, so I would imagine that that's probably going to be the one big advantage for him now.
All right. ONE FC is expanding, so is UFC. UFC is trying to break into Asia. Do you think with these two juggernauts growing, do you think ONE FC will ever touch down in the US? And do you think UFC will find itself in the Philippines in 2015?
I don't know what the UFC's plans are, and if they do, that's great for them. You know, ONE FC, we're here in Southeast Asia doing shows and doing great shows, putting on great shows everywhere that we go. The card that we do here in December is going to be an amazing card. I mean, you've seen the card, so you know. Us touching down in the U.S. or in North America or whatever is definitely not outside the realm of possibility. It's just not something that's on the immediate horizon for us. We're an Asia-based organization, and we're focused on Asia at this point. We from Manila here, we'll go to Beijing, and we're entering into China, and so that's going to be our focus. I think 2015 will be a big focus on that, and then other markets here in Asia. And I don't know what 2016 will bring at this moment in time.
Yeah, that actually kind of preempts my next question. That what do you guys have in store for 2015? I heard that you'll be having like 2 events a month. What else could you tell us about?
Well, that's the plan. Look, we've as an organization, we've looked at other markets. I mean, we signed a 10-fight deal in China, in mainland China. So we're doing Beijing, and we're doing another city. And I'm not sure what the second city we're doing this year before the year's end. But then we'll have another 10 fights next year in China as well. So we're focusing heavily on that territory in particular. But we'll be looking at expanding into some other territories as well. But then you have to realize that we've previously done shows in Jakarta and Singapore and Taiwan, and so we're still going to have to massage all those industries as well. So it's you know, those regions we can't just let them fade. So we'll have to maintain doing shows in those while we're also adding other shows, and so adding even more regions on top of that is going to become a very tricky balance for us.
All right. Well, it sounds like a promising year. We're going to go to some fan questions. We asked fans to ask you anything that they wanted to ask you.
Anything that they wanted to ask you. Anything.
They kept it normal.
They kept it normal.
Yeah, nothing weird.
That's almost a little disappointing.
Okay, but one question from John Phillip was, what was the reaction of your class when you showed up on Monday after your first fight?
I'll tell you what, there are plenty of classes when I was teaching that I would have a broken ankle or stitches or a black eye or busted up face or something. You know, nothing too bad, but when I was first teaching, the students they kind of heard rumors that I did some fighting and stuff like that. And then the first time I showed up on a Monday, and maybe I think I had some stitches in my right eye here, and of course my eye was swollen shut a little bit from getting maybe elbowed. And it wasn't even from a fight, but it was from training. And you know, when you show up as a teacher, like a high school teacher, especially a math teacher like that, it really kind of throws people back. Like, what happened to you this weekend? It's weird because I live in a world where a black eye is a common thing to have, but you forget about the normal people in this world, the way they look at a person when you have a black eye, especially in the professional world. So it's definitely surprising to the students.
All right. The second question is from Jedri. He asked, before Dana White proposed a fight between a UFC champion and a Pride FC champion, do you think anything like that would go down between UFC and ONE FC?
I'll use the same phrase again. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Interestingly enough, at the time that happened between Pride and UFC, there was the fight that took place in Pride, which, of course, that all occurred under the Pride rule set. So it would be interesting to see if that ever did come down in the future, which rule set would be used.
Could you think of 2 champions from the organizations you'd like to pit against one another?
Oh, listen, the natural answer to that question, since there's so much talking between the 2 of them, would be Askren and Ben Askren and John Hendricks. But yeah, honestly, I think I would, you know, our heavier weight classes, middleweight on up, we those classes really aren't extremely established because we just don't have a ton of big fighters on this side of the globe. But I would love to pit any of our champions against their champions. interesting matchups.
Yeah, definitely. The last question is from Miguel. He said, Franklin versus Munoz in the PH. Because maybe you said you want to have one last fight, and then you got a good following here in the Philippines, so does Mark.
Yeah.
Would that fight be
I'm not sure I would be a fan favorite here. I don't think I would get booed, but yeah, that would. I think. Listen, I think that would be an exciting fight. I like Mark. He and I've gone back and forth on Twitter. He's a good dude, and he's an exciting fighter. So a fight like that would definitely pique my interest. I don't know. I never considered fighting him in the Philippines, but no, that would definitely make it for an interesting matchup for sure.
All right. Well, that actually does it for our interview. I was thinking though, would you like to invite people to your open workout or to the event itself?
Yeah. No. Listen, guys. We have an amazing event coming up, December 5th, here in Manila at Manila Arena, ONE FC. So come check it out because it's honestly going to be an exciting night of fights. I think we have 7 Filipinos on the card that night, including a couple ladies, and it's going to be a good night of fights.